Man, so, number one, this is our second of 3 episodes this week.
Yep.
So, to quote the great Bo Burnham, we fucking made you some content.
That's what we do around these parts.
But, the first of 3 reviews that we did this week, we covered, we finished up our Mistborn Era 1 coverage on Monday. And last night, I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, we didn't talk about the resurrection.
Yeah. You know what? Like, it was a lot of content that we covered, and we may or may not have rabbit hole a time or two.
And so that got me, once or twice.
Yeah.
You had a bear with me here.
I did.
And I didn't have one.
Yeah.
Which is really odd for a Cosmere episode.
Right.
However, I got to thinking about it. I think we should do like a best and worst resurrections episode.
Ooh.
I think that would be a good thing we could pull off. There's enough of them throughout.
That's true.
Comics, cinema, etc.
Yeah. Motherfuckers can't stay dead in fiction.
No.
Yeah. So that would be interesting.
Yeah. So I think we should put that on the calendar. One day when we can stop reviewing things.
Right.
Constantly.
Yeah, I'm absolutely down for that.
The other thing I was thinking of, and this was kind of on the way over here, if there's one thing that James Gunn gets right about the DCU, if there's like one thing for you that would be like, if I could pick anything for him to get right, and it could be anything, with his new DCU, what would it be?
Any one thing that I would like James Gunn to get right, what would it be?
Yeah, and it could be anything. It could be like, you really want him to get the romance between Barry Allen and what's her face?
Iris.
Mm-hmm. Or it could be straight up like, you just got to get Bruce Wayne right, or you got to nail the relationship between Dick Grayson and Damian.
Oh man.
Or it could even be like, just don't fuck up the CGI, or
I would say, man, that's fucking tough. I would probably.
I thought it would be.
Yeah. If you ask me this question every day of the week, I would have 7 different answers for you.
Probably.
But today, I would say, lean into the comic booky aspects of everything. So,
okay,
yeah, don't shy away from the comic booky sides of things. Lean into it. So, like for example, obviously, Batman being my guy. I'm always invested in what's going on with Batman, and between the Matt Reeves movie, which I love, and the Christopher Nolan trilogy, which I love, a lot of other people though are hoping for a more let loose Batman universe. And you know what? I think we got space for it now. I think we got room for it, and I think James Gunn is a great curator for something like that. So I think that's where we can probably get a Man Bat, a Clayface, a Killer Croc, and just be unapologetic about it. And I would really like to see all that type of comic book type stuff from James Gunn, because I think he's done a great job of just leaning into it so far as it is.
Yeah, I feel like the mantra for like the lanterns, right? Mm-hmm. There's no way around that shit. If you say it, it's gonna be hokey.
Well, see, no, I'll give some pushback on that, right? Because if you read 90% of Captain America comic books, you would think the same thing, but then you get someone like Chris Evans to deliver it, and you buy it hook, line, and sinker.
That's true.
So if they can get, they're already cast, so if those actors can pull it off, and if the dialogue is written just right so that it has that same comic book flair and nostalgia feel to it, if they can deliver it, then it would be great.
For me, And actually, I have a not a sponsor. I have a McDonald's Coke right here, and this is actually what got me thinking about it.
Do tell.
I'm gonna link it up for you.
Okay.
See, to me, what I would say is actually consistency. You see,
Okay.
because the thing that people love about McDonald's, it has nothing to do with the food is good or that it's cheap or anything like that. It's the fact that you can go just about anywhere on God's green earth and order a Big Mac, and minus the chemicals that'll be in it here that are like outlawed everywhere else,
Right.
you're pretty much going to get the same damn thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you know exactly what you're going to get. You
That's
know,
a good point.
And it's the consistency, man. That's their strong suit. You can't. No competitor could come along in any reasonable amount of time and ape what McDonald's is. You know,
Yeah.
like Burger King has tried it for many, many years, and while I actually enjoy their food more, they are the Pepsi of fast food.
Yeah.
Everybody fucking knows it.
Yeah.
And they've even been surpassed by like Subway and different places, you know.
That part is crazy.
Yeah, Subway, like, I don't mean to derail us here, but there's like, I think it's like the like early 2000s, and like the number of restaurants like on Earth, like Subway just like opened up like a bajillion locations.
Jeez.
Like, I think they're the second most populous. Like, I think McDonald's is still number one. But anyway, getting back to the DCU, it'd be consistency, man. And, like, things need to feel cohesive without feeling like they were copy and pasted. So, like, we don't want to be talking about the DCU formula the way that we negatively talk about the Marvel formula.
Right.
Because if you remember the beginning, the Marvel formula was a positive thing.
Yeah.
You're like, Marvel churned out another one. They got the formula. But before long, it was like, yeah, well, that is the same shit we done seen about 20 times.
That is true. And you know the interesting thing about like the that Marvel formula is that, well, I think we both agree that Phase 1, those movies weren't like the greatest overall, but they all feel pretty distinct. You know?
Right. And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, it needs to all feel like it could fit,
You're right.
but it doesn't need to be the same
Yes,
thing.
yeah.
Thor feels nothing like Iron Man.
Right.
First Avenger feels nothing like Iron Man or Hulk.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And even in Phase 2, man, I mean, Dark World feels completely distinct from Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Which feels completely distinct from
Guardians.
Yeah, or Iron Man 3, for better or worse. I mean, the movie's trash, but you can't say it's just like anything else.
Yeah, it's like nothing you've ever seen before.
yeah. Get Optimus Prime out here.
Right.
Never seen this before.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with that. What do you think needs to happen? I guess switching gears a little bit here to like the MCU. What do you think needs to happen for the TV shows to have that same cohesion?
I don't know, man. We're on a hot streak of, because 2024 has been perilous, folks. We reviewed Dune 2 at the beginning of the year,
Yep.
and didn't even knew like Dune 2 was so good that like the universe was like, fuck y'all, and like shifted and we just had to review just trash after trash after trash for months.
Right.
And I honestly, man, if like, you know, if I could like talk to like the Watcher and he'd be like, well, you know, we could just take Dune 2 out and then you wouldn't have to, I'd be like, man, I don't know. Let me sleep on it.
Yeah, he's like, I can go ahead and remove Dune 2. That will retroactively remove Madam Web, and it'll add Fantastic Four to the slate this year.
I'd be like, I don't know, man. That's still a gamble to me. Until I see the Fantastic Four movie and like it, I'm actually hearing that it's going to be TVA centric. Are you hearing this? I read a rumor yesterday that the plot of the movie is going to be that the TVA, and just a rumor, take this with a grain of salt, please, not verified at all, is that the TVA basically is going to try to get Reed Richards to build them a machine that will allow them to gather all of the anchor beings. I don't see a universe where I enjoy that.
Me either. Like when I tell you that I am done with the TVA, I mean I'm done with the TVA.
Yeah.
Like I don't need any more TVA content.
No.
So yeah, they can take that shit and just put it away with the rest of the multiversal stuff. And I get it, the Fantastic Four, the way they're going with it has to be multiversal because they're not technically from the MCU 616. But still, do something else.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the concept of making Galactus a multiversal being, and he's eating universes or planets and shit.
Yeah,
and it's too late to stop him from eating Earth. I like that. I like the doom and gloom. All right,
right.
But I mean, just looking at the little bit that we've seen of the Fantastic Four movie, which has really just been snippets, so there's nothing to judge off of. But man, it looks like it's going to be a. I mean, they're leaning into like the retro '60s family aesthetic type of Fantastic Four vibe.
Yeah, and I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not writing it off.
Yeah,
I have no choice. I have to go see it either way.
Right.
Well, I am a captive audience member. But I feel like they're taking a game that's already difficult and they're bumping up the difficulty level.
Yeah.
And like
they're taking the boss fight, right? The boss fight being Fantastic Four, which cinema hasn't beaten yet.
No.
And then they're saying, you know what, it's not hard enough. Let's add some more health bars and difficulty layers to this challenge.
Yeah, like next thing you know, they're gonna be like, we brought on Josh Trank as an executive producer. Fuck out of here. No, man. To your question, I don't see. I see Marvel in general. I think they're going to divide up their TV shows and probably their movies too. And they kind of already have done this with the movies in such a way that there's different corners of the Marvel universe. Like I think WandaVision, Agatha, Vision Quest, whatever comes after that. I think that the witchy corner, I think it'll have cohesion. And then those characters can show up in other things. I think we have the cosmic corner. We have no idea what they're doing with that. But they apparently plan to do something. You know, and then I think we kind of have the street level stuff like Born Again.
Yeah.
Wonder Man.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think stuff like Wakanda is kind of off of in its own little area to an extent.
That reminds me. I'm not sure when we're going to release this. It's probably going to be after Penguin, so this is kind of a moot point at this point. There is a comment on Agatha that we definitely talked about in the Penguin review that we haven't recorded yet. That we need to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm saying it here live on the podcast, so I don't forget to tell you about to discuss the comment that we got about the Agatha review we did.
Okay.
Yeah,
what was the comment? I'm curious.
Yeah. So it was something along the lines. It was an interesting one, right?
Because I 100% thought that we would get some pushback on that review.
See, I was the opposite. I thought that maybe we wouldn't because I was like, I enjoy this. You know?
Right. I don't know. Yeah. I know very few people that watched that show and didn't like it. I know people that watched the first episode and didn't like it. But, like, if you continued watching after that, that show is great.
Yeah, it does get better, right?
Yeah, considerably. Which, I mean, you liked the first episode.
Yeah, and I actually liked the first episode.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Here we go. Let's see. We're always happy for y'all's feedback, folks.
Of course. All right.
Oh shit! There's a paragraph over there.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to take the time to really look at this one and break this one down with you.
And it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that already tells me what's up.
Yeah. So, I couldn't really make much heads or tails of it. Let me know what you think here. So out to you, Irrational Watcher. Appreciate you checking it out. He says, or they say, so you think Disney is wasting its resources doing a show like this? As if Marvel hasn't done 8 to 10 bigger shows since WandaVision, but none of them managed to grow and add viewers like WandaVision during its run until the same WandaVision team made Agatha all along. These second and third tier characters like Agatha, Wiccan, and Jennifer Kale are perfect for TV shows. I don't think that audiences care so much. Oh, it goes on. I don't think the audiences care much if they know or recognize the characters or how a show fits in the wider MCU, as long as they are enjoying what they are watching in the moment. And Agatha all along offered a good ride. By the same turn, you shouldn't condemn the shows because you have no idea what, if anything, Disney Marvel would do with the characters next. In fact, a big complaint usually used against Marvel is the conspicuously shoehorning in teasers for possible upcoming film and TV projects. Now it kind of sounds like you want more of that out of this show.
Well, they make some very good points, actually. Some incredibly good points. And yeah, if you want to kind of dig into that on the Penguin episode, I would be happy to do that because I agree with a lot of what they said there. So,
yeah, we'll definitely dig more into that in the Penguin episode. Maybe for that cold open, we'll dig more into that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, the thing that threw me off though was like, so what exactly here led him to believe?
Oh, that we want more of that bullshit. Yeah, yeah. We don't. Yeah.
So that was But it was We'll get there though. We'll get there.
See, I mean, we'll get more into it. I 100% think enjoying what you are watching has to be first, right?
Yes.
There is nothing beyond that.
Right.
Like that is goal A, right? Mm-hmm. And even for me, who like the connectivity is my favorite thing. It's my favorite part of it. It's why I love the fucking Cosmere so much. It's why I love the MCU so much. Mm-hmm. The cohesiveness, we were just talking about this, of it all makes it fantastic for me.
Yeah.
However, that does not matter if I'm watching a poor plot, poor writing, if I don't care about the characters that are involved. I want all of that. I want to have my cake. I want to have my second cake. I want to have my third cake. I want to eat all of the cake. Yeah. I love to eat cake. Let it be said.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. The only pushback that I have, without really delving deep into anything that they said, because like you said, I agree with a lot of what the homie here said. I guess the pushback I have here, though, is that like the 8 to 10 bigger MCU projects that failed to capture viewerships, I'm like, brother, there's also another 8 to 10 that are also smaller that didn't do what Agatha did or didn't do what WandaVision did.
Right.
So it's not like it's only these fringe, third tier character shows that are killing it, and that's not the case. It just so happens that if a show is well written, then it's well written, and we get a good show from it.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't wrong to think this wasn't going to be good. I mean,
right.
The lead writer on this fucking show wrote Captain Marvel.
Oof.
Yeah. Either they had a really bad day or a really good day. Like, what's the name? Yeah. It's going to be weird listening to these now because, like, we're going to, on the Penguin episode, we're going to really dive into that.
Right.
And then now this is going to be like, and another thing.
Yeah. So, didn't mean to come off that way. That's another thing. But, yeah.
No, we'll dig into that for sure.
For sure.
Or we already have.
Yeah.
Technically.
By the time you hear this, we technically have already dug into.
We already did the thing, yeah. That being said, man, if you want to do some introductions, and I'll do the reading of the rules, and we'll get this thing going.
Absolutely. Homies, one and all, welcome back to another very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and actually sitting front and center is Baby Deadpool. You see him with his hands up right here.
Junior.
But right to Baby Deadpool's left-hand side is the world's greatest co-host, the homie Caleb.
What's going on, folks? We just got back from watching Red 1 at the theater, and as with all of our movie reviews, the first half of this will be spoiler free. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you're on the fence, or you're thinking about it, or you don't know if you're going to watch it in the theaters or wait till it comes on Netflix, Disney Plus, whatever, whoever owns it, streaming network, stick around. We're not going to spoil anything. We're going to talk about our overall thoughts. We're going to talk about the characters, the plots, all of that stuff without spoiling anything. And then we will have a brief, maybe, section where we're going to bullshit for a little bit. We'll give you ample time to mosey on out of here if you haven't seen it. And then we will go full tilt into the spoilers. We will talk about all of the things. And that's what's about to happen right now for Red 1.
Red 1. Some of you may be wondering, why in the world are we discussing Red 1 on this podcast? Well, it has Black Adam, Omni-Man, and Captain America in it.
That's true.
So I think that it's definitely our obligation to discuss this movie.
Yeah. And I think with this one, it's very interesting, right? Because it's a movie that takes from a lot of like real world lore. Mm-hmm. And it kind of almost is like it's kind of similar to what God of War did,
I see what that I never thought to compare this to God of War, but continue.
but yeah, I mean, so they've got a character that they created, and they dropped them in the world of these mythological beings.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, man, I didn't know that there was a Kratos stand-in here.
Well, Chris Evans, I mean, yeah, kind of. But what was your kind of just overall spoiler-free thoughts on the film?
Yeah, going into this movie, I was very much puckered asshole and held breath, because looking at the trailers, it looked like it had potential to be a fun, mindless romp, but I wasn't quite sure if they were going to be able to deliver on it. And to be honest, I think with the exception of like some pacing issues throughout the movie, I actually quite enjoyed this. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not going to be like this super duper thought provoking movie that's going to change your life, but will it be a fun movie for the holidays? I think so. There's the characters come off actually more in depth than what I thought. Now, that doesn't mean that they're super in-depth characters. It just means that they are more in-depth than I thought they would be, and that's a completely different discussion. Right. But as a whole, man, on the whole of it all, I really thought that this was a fun movie, and I think that had they kept the pace at a certain rate throughout the movie, it would have helped it for me a little bit more. But no, overall, I thought it was fun, man. What'd you think?
Yeah, going into it, we had a lot of, we had a big group.
Yeah.
And people were like, hey, you think it's going to be good? And I was like, I think it's going to be fun and funny. Mm-hmm. That's really all I needed from this movie. I didn't really need it to be this crazy kind of thing. And there's areas where it really surprised me. Mm-hmm. And there were areas where some of the humor didn't land. There were areas where the humor was like really on point, and I was like cackling in my seat. Mm-hmm. And I'll say like there were other areas where it was kind of a mixed bag, and I agree with you on the pacing. Like this movie, when it hits the gas, it hits the gas. When it hits the brakes, you ever been on a road and you're like, there's no need for this road to have this many fucking red lights on it?
Yes.
That is the pacing in this movie.
Yeah. For me, it almost feels like the thing that's worse than excessive red lights is when there's one person in front of you and they hit their brakes for no reason constantly.
Yeah. That kind of happens in this too. Like, I feel like you could cut 10 to 15 out of this movie, mm-hmm. and it would be a much more of a romp.
Yeah.
I get what they were trying to do, where it's like, okay, let's slow it down and try to make this a little more heartfelt and serious. But honestly, man, most of the times where they tried to do that, I was like, if I had to pee, I would go right now.
Yeah, it's a movie about rescuing Santa Claus.
Yeah,
You know? So,
yeah. I really didn't. I appreciate your attempts to add more depth to your characters, but sometimes I don't need that.
Yeah.
You know, like this should be like if in the middle of the Power Rangers fighting the putties, they like broke off into a side conversation for 5 minutes. You know, about like
homework.
Yeah, about homework or like, you know, geopolitical conflicts. and you know, sometimes I just don't need that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you guys train, you fight the bad guys, you go get a smoothie at the juice bar.
Right.
That's what you do. That I don't really need.
Yeah, all the other in between, don't really care for that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you, man. And just like you said, this movie did surprise me in certain parts because, and I'll also be honest, obviously no spoilers here, but the first like 3 to 5 minutes, I think was a little unnecessary, to be honest.
I gotta say, it takes a long time for them to like get to the shit.
It does. And again, obviously no spoilers, but man, I think this movie also would have done better had we actually gotten more Santa.
That's actually one thing I was talking about on the car ride after. I want to know how much money J.K. Simmons got for this movie. Because J.K. Simmons is in this movie for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah. He had that fucking Bruce Willis deal, right? He was getting paid by the minute. You know?
Yeah, that Spider-Man Homecoming Tony Stark money.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because like you see him and then he's gone, and then it's the end of the movie and you see you know, it's kind of what it feels like.
So if you've seen the trailers, right, you know the premise of the movie is that like Santa Claus gets kidnapped. I feel like it's like maybe like the movie, the beginning is just so poorly paced, but I feel like at like minute 11, he still ain't been kidnapped yet.
Right. and that was also like, I was waiting, you know?
Yeah. I'm like, can we, you know, can we get to it?
And it would be different if they spent more of that time world building, like this type of fantastical version of the North Pole and Santa and what he does, because some of that stuff is very interesting to me.
Yeah, to me too. Yeah. But they don't do that shit till way later.
Yeah.
And when they did, I was like, thank you.
Right.
But why didn't you do this at the beginning? I'll be honest, you know, in the trailer, they have that scene where they're sitting at the table. Mm-hmm. This is in all the trailers, so I don't consider it a spoiler. Where, you know, Chris Evans' character is sitting there, and then, like, The Rock comes in.
Yeah.
And watching the trailer, you'd be like, this scene is within the first 4 minutes of this film.
Right.
It's not.
It absolutely not.
That shit
is damn near second act.
Yeah. That shit is like, maybe, it might be 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
You're just like, can we get to it, you know?
It might be 20. It felt like a little bit longer before we got to that point for me.
God.
Like,
this ain't Lord of the Rings. Y'all ain't got 3 hours.
Right. But man, like once they start going though, it's like, okay, we're moving here.
Yeah.
And a lot of really cool and fun things happen, and you know, they got these gadgets, these MacGuffin ass gadgets that you have to just roll with.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, the MacGuffins are strong with this one. There's like 8 different MacGuffins in this movie.
Like, what does this one do? Whatever I want it to.
Yeah. This is the MacGuffin Buster.
That's what Jack Kirby called his writing pencil.
Right.
Anywho.
I can't believe they got the MacGuffin 3000 back online.
Right. It hasn't been functioning in years.
Yeah.
God damn. That's great. But
as if Santa Claus isn't a walking, living, breathing MacGuffin.
Yeah, he really is.
Like, shit, how can we get these toys everywhere? Tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
If only there were a mystical, jolly man.
Right. Who can break into your house.
Who can break into every
house. and deliver presents. The right presents to every house.
To every house, yeah.
The logistics have got to be awful.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we saw it takes a lot.
It takes a lot, right? And they're like, what if somebody moved? And you're like, oh, fuck, they moved like last week. So,
I gotta say too that there are aspects. So this movie is Christmassy, but it is not nearly as Christmassy as you thought it would be.
No,
but also I gotta say there's aspects of like Christmas lore that are in this that I really appreciated.
Yeah,
even not even adding in kind of the Nordic type stuff, other places, but I mean just like the actual like legacy of Santa Claus. There's like things like the logistics and things like that the movie shows that I've never really seen in any kind of other media.
Agreed.
And it was tremendous. Like the only thing that would have been better is if they showed him trolling Darkseid.
That would have been great.
Like they just specifically went to Warner Brothers like, look, we'll give you guys like $2 million.
Yeah, just give us like 30 seconds of the footage from the Snyder Code of him just standing there, and we'll do the rest. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
We kind of already hit the pacing here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our leads.
Yes.
I would say that Chris Evans as Jack O'Malley is kind of the main character.
I would agree. I don't know if The Rock would agree, but I would agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, The Rock probably was like, all right, listen, I want to make what Chris Evans is making plus $1.
No, plus $7.
Yeah.
No, I like seeing Chris Evans play a schmarmy douchebag.
Yeah,
it was fun in Knives Out, and it's fun here too.
I liked it here. Mm-hmm. The only thing I hated was his fake ass New Jersey accent.
The accent was a little much,
and it's spotty.
Yeah.
And when he lays it in, you're like, it's awful, it's wrong, and it's terrible. And it doesn't mean like he didn't nail the accent. It's just an annoying accent, and we know it's not supposed to come out of his face.
Yeah, right. And like on top of it, it's like that was a decision made to make the character more of like a off-coming douchebag.
He had the douchebaggiest beard I've ever seen. Like, listen, if your beard is that length on purpose, not if you're growing it out,
right? You
can't help that shit. If you're growing your beard out from nothing,
you're gonna go through that.
You're gonna look like an alcoholic for a few weeks. It's just gonna happen. Okay, you're gonna be baby faced, then you're gonna look alcoholic, and then homeless, and then eventually,
and then it gets there.
You got it. But like, if you intentionally trim your beard to the level that his beard was, you're a fucking douchebag, and I will not be told otherwise.
Right?
There's just no way.
That is an aggravating length. Like, why would you want it there on purpose?
It's just got to be constantly itchy.
I was gonna say it's got to itch all the time, man.
Because when it's at that length, it's itchy.
Yeah, it's itchy. They'll have to pay me extra to keep my beard that length. Yeah,
I'd be like, y'all gonna have to get Henry Cavill down here and CG that shit on my face.
Right.
And have me in the movie fucking looking like Plastic Man or whatever.
I thought that his character. What you think of like the premise behind this character, like the reasoning for him being in this movie?
I'll be honest, to an extent, like he's there to play the audience surrogate, right? He's there as like he's the regular guy,
right,
who's put into this role. Why he can do all these ridiculously fantastical things, like he's still Steve fucking Rogers.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Like that's a huge misstep for me.
How was he? We'll get there.
We'll get there. We definitely gonna talk about that shit. Because there's just several parts of the movie where you're like, he's just supposed to be a dude.
I just feel like him and like the director and the stunt coordinators went over this like dozens of times, but he just kept activating Captain America mode.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, you guys do realize I'm not actually Captain America. They were like, wink. Yeah. Yes, we do.
And then like during the same scene that I think we're both talking about, there was a moment where I thought he was going to get on the elevator. And I was like, you don't put Chris Evans on the elevator.
You don't put. It's like you don't put Baby in the corner. You don't put Chris Evans in the elevator. You just don't do it.
Don't do that. Yeah.
What do you think about The Rock here? As Callum Drift. Number one, cool name. Mm-hmm. I actually really loved him in this movie.
This was The Rock playing a role he's played many times before, but this time it fit.
Yeah. It's very much like his Tooth Fairy role, except it worked here.
Yeah. and you know why? Because in the Tooth Fairy, he was also supposed to be the comic relief guy in that. And here he's not. He's the straight man in a ridiculous world.
And I love this, actually. Yeah. If you've seen the trailer, it's the whole movie is that, right? Mm-hmm. He acts as if, and this is anytime something really reminds me of prominent Cosmere shit, it's you ask him about this ridiculous ass thing, and he explains it to you very nonchalantly, this ridiculous concept, as if it's just going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
You know? Be I altered its reality. Get in the fucking car.
Right.
You know? you what? Just get in the car.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't question it. All right. Yeah.
It'd be like somebody in 2024 asking you how you unlocked your car with the little button.
Yeah.
You know? Be well, just get in the car.
Just get in the car, yeah.
But don't worry. Yeah. What are you, from the 20s? Get in the car.
Yeah. It would be like that. The first telephone being invented, and then, they see you whip out a fucking smartphone.
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And that is what it is. And I guess, if we went back to, the early 1900s, a smartphone would look like a fucking MacGuffin because it would do everything, right?
Actually, in the 1900s, it wouldn't do a lot at all.
If we brought them here.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. I was going to say, in the 1900s, it would be a fancy calculator that you might be able to charge somewhere.
Well, that's a stretch.
If you got the charger with you, you might be able to find somewhere that has a plug.
That has an appropriate outlet that can provide the wattage, you think, necessary to charge that bitch?
Maybe. You're going to have to be in New York City.
And you got to sit there for 18 hours to get...
Yeah. Yeah, and then the thing's really just going to be a fancy ass calendar and calculator.
It also depends on what pages you still have up on your phone. They won't be able to play.
That's true, but if you got them cached.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh shit. And then if you get real cavemanish and if you still download your porn to your phone, it doesn't have to be porn. I don't know why I said that.
I was wondering.
I guess it could be anything.
I was wondering why why we just went straight to porn. If you download your porn,
I guess technically, it could be cat videos. You can just download that directly to your phone. That's my point. And as long as you have a charge, you can play that video.
That's true.
So
and it's gonna be like magic.
Absolutely like magic.
Yeah.
They're
probably gonna burn you. Actually,
they would kill me definitely.
Yeah. You're gonna get burned at the stake, bro. Trying to be let me show you this cat video.
Right.
There were some nice surprises in this movie. But what you think about J.K. Simmons as ripped ass Santa Claus?
Again, I dug him. I really wish we had gotten more. I needed to see more Santa. I needed to see more and I'll talk more about this in the spoiler-filled section, but man, I really needed to see more of what this Santa can do.
The drip.
Oh man,
was immaculate. Ooh. Especially the scene I'm talking about. I was just damn.
That shit was on point.
Yeah, this is way beyond get a bucket and a mop.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Ain't no cleaning that drip.
Yeah, no. That shit staining those North Pole floors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that shit was incredible. Whoever's like the costume designer for that, they should win some shit. Cause amazing.
Yes.
Honestly, I think other than Lucy Liu, anybody else we could talk about would be spoilers.
Yeah, because I don't know if anyone else shows up in it. Because Garcia, he's not in the trailer, is he?
Garcia is in the trailer.
Is he? Okay, well, cool.
But Garcia is kind of a minor character. But
he is.
Garcia was dope. You don't fuck with Garcia.
Yeah, absolutely not.
For sure. What'd you think about Lucy Liu here?
Okay, but the first thing I was going to say could have been a spoiler, so I won't say that. I thought she was going to be one thing, and she wasn't. I mean, no, she was fine. You know, she was just she was such a one-dimensional character that I thought they were trying to set us up, you know.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I also got to say, too, that when her character came into it, I was like, are they trying to franchise this? You know? Are they trying to make it like a...
Oh, I know what you
they could come out with another movie where this kind of thing... I think if this did well, that could happen, but I don't think it's going to, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, because I can definitely see a world where we get, like, maybe not sequels, but spinoffs.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, this movie, to me, is less about Christmas and more about the mythological realm. And about, you know, all the shit that people think is maybe folklore or urban legend that actually exist. So I thought that that was a pretty cool aspect of it all.
So the guy who plays Garcia, his name is
Polar Bear McStuffington?
Ronaldo Fabrel?
I was way off.
Yeah. And he actually has really only had like minor, like he voiced a character in Guardians, like a minor character in Guardians Volume 3. He Suicide Squad.
So he's boys with James Gunn.
Yeah. He apparently was in Mayor of Kingstown, which I haven't watched yet.
Okay.
So, yeah, he hasn't really been in a lot, but yeah, he must be in good with James Gunn. He was apparently in the Lethal Weapon TV series as Thug Number 3.
Oh, shit. Why didn't you start with that?
Yeah, Garcia was dope.
Yeah, I really dug Garcia here. This movie does have a through line, believe it or not. And a lot of times in movies like this, the through line is pretty hokey and pretty cheesy. And it's that way here, too. But, you know, at least they do try to put in like a meaning or a message in the movie that can leave you feeling all tingly.
It's kind of your standard buddy cop thing. You have your two characters. You have one who is on this end of the spectrum and the other one who's on this end of the spectrum.
Yep.
And they kind of both pull each other towards the center a bit.
Yeah.
Or towards each other, rather. And I think it... Not to spoil it, I think it works way better for The Rock's character than it works for Chris Evans' character.
Yeah.
Like, I like his through line better.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Even though it was pretty simple.
It was very, very simple.
This is not a crazy arc, you know. This is not fucking, you know, Sophia fucking Falcone or anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is not no deep ass arc.
Yeah.
This ain't no Kelsey or...
Yeah, no. This ain't it. If you're looking for that, then I don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
Actually, I do know where to tell you to find either of those things, but it's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not that. It's not complex, but I will say that it is kind of a unique take, you know, to an extent. I know we just kind of talked about J.K. Simmons, but I thought it was amazing how, like, he's just such a baby face, but it works.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Like, just it's hard to pull off in this day and age, just this character, even if you're fucking Santa Claus, right? Who's just this completely fucking pure, joyous being. Fucking nailed it.
And it's because the way he plays Santa, right? He doesn't play like your traditional Coca-Cola drinking Santa Claus, he plays a jolly version of J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
You know,
It's interesting that you mentioned Coca-Cola, man, because I'm gonna tell you right now, in the third act, if Garcia had busted out a Coke and drank it real quick,
Bruh.
I'd have fucking popped so loud. They might would have taken me out of the theater. I would have lost my shit.
that would have been that would have been the easiest fucking money that Coke ever spent. You know, to do that.
Right.
Like I don't. They should have just gone for that.
Yeah.
There was a moment there in the third act where I thought for sure The Rock was going to say, "I can do this all day."
I kind of thought that was going to happen too.
I was like, "Don't do it, please don't." And okay,
He's the Rock's character in this. He's kind of a Christmassy John McClane. He's gonna fucking wreck your shit, and then he's gonna say something. But instead of saying something clever, he's gonna be like, "Yuletide, bitch."
Right.
You know. Season's greetings to you.
right. Man, unfortunately, like you said, we can't really talk about a lot of the other characters, like the villain.
Yeah, the villain was actually a huge credit to the marketing team for keeping the villain under wraps.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Right.
Krampus was in the trailers though.
He was. Admittedly, I didn't know it was Krampus, and I probably should have, but I didn't know in the trailer that was Krampus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Krampus was awesome.
He was.
He was amazing.
I love Krampus in this.
Krampus, damn it, I can't even talk about that in the spoiler free. Krampus was dope. Like, despite the fact that the monster smut readers that go to this movie, Krampus is most definitely going to awaken some things.
Oh, Jesus. What? God damn.
But other than that, yeah, I thought Krampus was awesome. And that just goes into like the lore, right? All the different lore stuff that they did in this was really tremendous. How they pulled off of like real world lore and things. It was very kind of like later Supernatural seasons kind of.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah. No, I had a lot of fun with old Krampus. And yeah, I can't really talk about that either. But anyways, yeah, Krampus, he was a lot of fun. He was intimidating as shit. And again, no spoilers, but I wonder what Dana White thought about some of the Krampus scenes.
Right.
I would love for him to see that. And you guys, if you haven't seen the movie yet, when you see it, you'll get it.
You'll get it, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was cool though.
Yeah,
like how they
same.
played that in.
Same.
We'll talk about the score. I'll be honest, I could take it or leave it in this.
This score to me felt like it felt like we have Danny Elfman at home.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like, you know, I've talked about this before pretty much every time we talk about a score. Either with the score, I think 70% of the time, I just don't even pick up on it. Mm-hmm. And that's just middle of the road, you know? There'll be a song here or there. If it doesn't feel too out of place, whatever. Roll with it. It's that other 30% where it's either going to be, this was amazing, or like Venom, where it was like, oh my God, please. Or like that god awful Wonder Woman theme from fucking Batman vs. Superman. Those are like the worst of the worst. So this to me was in the middle, you know. They picked some Christmas songs.
Yeah.
That you could interchange with almost anything else.
Right. I thought that the soundtrack was uninspired, and I thought that the score was uninspired. I just remember listening for it in like the beginning parts of the movie, and it was just, I mean, honestly, just felt so generic. Like they really didn't care to spend a whole lot of money, you can tell, on the score for this. I mean, which is fine. Like, I'm not gonna say that the score wasn't so awful that it detracts from the movie for me, but I just noticed that you could have made that score you can take any Hallmark movie, take that score, and then put it in the other movie, and it would all fit in together. So,
right.
Yeah, so I wasn't really a big fan of that. I mean, it was just all right. What you think about the action here?
Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Right. Some of the action, although the theater we saw it in, the screen kept doing this like weird red thing.
Yeah, which we did see red one, so
the reel must be messed up or something.
Got to be right because it kept doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, but there were some scenes like where the action was, I thought, clever and inventive. And then there were some scenes where it was hard to follow or very generic. And it kind of, to me, wavered back and forth between those.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. And for me, that does kind of weigh a little bit more heavily than it would for other movies, because this is the type of movie that does live or die based on its action. And I thought that a lot of it was also pretty damn generic, not gonna lie. And again, some of it was cool, but man, so much of that shit was just, that thing in action movies or TV shows where you're fighting a really strong person, and instead of just ripping your arms off, they throw you across the room. There's a lot of that here. A lot of being thrown in this movie. So if you're not into people just being thrown, then this action may not be for you. I first noticed that ironically in Supernatural. Like, man, they just get thrown around a lot.
A lot, yeah. And then they're fine.
Yeah. And I was looking at some of the hits in this movie, and I'm like, man, Chris Evans, you're just a normal dude in this. Like, you'd be fucked up.
He would have been dead multiple times.
Yeah.
Cap would have been bruised and beaten up from some of this shit.
Right.
We were talking about the soundtrack a minute ago, and that's what I was doing is I was looking up and make sure I'm correct here.
Yeah.
Did you know that Rocking Around the Christmas Tree was like a bomb? Like,
it bombed?
It didn't make any money until it was in Home Alone.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, like that movie was out that song was out for like decades and was not a hit.
Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Yes, until 1990.
So they probably licensed that bitch for the low.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But then the original artist still made a ton of cash after that.
Damn.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
That's great though that they still made it. Like, when was that recorded? And like, imagine recording a song like, I don't know, the fucking 50s, and then 40 years later you make a shit ton of money from it.
Yeah, the song was by Brenda Lee. Originally, it was released in 1958.
God damn!
But it wasn't until 1990 when it was put into Home Alone that it became a huge hit. And it's just so crazy for us because, I was born in 87. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like you just grow up hearing that song and you think, oh, it's always been a thing.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's a random little tidbit for you there.
Damn.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. We won't really have anything like that to tell, like, children when we're old. What were we going to say? Like, when we were kids.
We will, actually. Running up that hill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Running up that hill for sure.
It was drastically more popular from Stranger Things than it was when it was originally released.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, man, like, I don't really remember hearing much of that song unless we go back to, like, Shawn Michaels versus
and that was a cover.
That was a cover, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I derailed us here. But.
I mean, that happens from time to time. It's expected at this point.
I will say about the action, though. The times where it was good, I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, and I was actually, regardless of how good or meh the action was, that last fight I was invested in.
Yeah. And there's two, I think, really good fights in the movie.
Okay.
And then maybe like 2.5 good action scenes. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of it's kind of generic.
Yeah. I'll say this because this was also in the trailer, but like the snowman fight, I wasn't that impressed.
Oh, I actually the snowman fight was one of my 2.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually like the snowman fight. But I liked it because it was like a D&D fight.
It was like,
You know,
yeah,
like they were getting straight wrecked, and then someone was like, "Oh,
right."
You know, we got to do
Yeah,
this.
we figured it out. Yeah.
You know, Oz is gonna put those fucking abominable snowmen.
Fuck. I mean, none of my characters are good at figuring shit out. You know.
Actually, the only character I'm playing right now is great at figuring shit out, so I should be fine.
Yeah, you'll be good. Oh shit. What else do we want to talk about before we get to spoilers?
We already talked about the pacing. We've talked about the characters. I think we can probably go ahead and score this thing. And
we also mentioned the plot in one sentence: Santa Claus gets kidnapped.
Yeah, Santa Claus gets kidnapped. We really can't say much else other than that. Yeah. Let's score this thing and let's mosey on.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it, man. It's time for us to mosey. So I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
Red One is probably exactly the movie that you're thinking it's going to be, but maybe a smidge better. That's probably about the best way I can surmise this one. I think that this movie, as we mentioned earlier, if it had been paced better, I think I would have given it a slightly better score. Because, again, you do feel and notice when the pacing starts to kind of drag a little bit. The dynamic between The Rock and Chris Evans, I think it actually works pretty well here. I don't know how well those two would actually get along, but they work together well enough here in this movie. Since, they share most of the screen time together. The CG, I think, actually holds up pretty well for what it is here. And, I enjoyed the looks of it. And
This is a good bit of practical, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Krampus had to be a suit, right?
Got to be a suit. Had to be a guy in a suit.
Ain't no way that wasn't prosthetics.
Right.
Like, no CG's that good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there had to be a guy. But that was a great looking suit, though.
Yeah.
It had to be a huge motherfucker in that suit, too. Yes, The Rock is like 6'4",
Right. They probably did some Hollywood trickery.
Yeah. Probably. I think that the cast here is overall pretty damn solid too. This is a fun romp, for me, the action felt just a wee bit uninspired for what I was hoping for in this. I talked about the soundtrack, how that kind of left me wanting as well. Ironically enough, I think that this movie tries to go a bit out of his way to explain away plot holes. And I do appreciate the effort, but I don't know if they always succeed at that. But again, I do really appreciate the effort because I think that if other people or companies or studios made this movie, they would say, fuck the potential plot holes. This is a movie about Santa Claus getting kidnapped.
Don't think about it, Morty.
Exactly. But they do try to explain, and sometimes the explanation is MacGuffin,
Often.
Right. But I'll be honest, man, I had a really fun time with this movie, and I think that a lot of you guys will too. I'll give it a 7.2 out of 10.
Yeah, this movie is not going to... By the way, get out of my head. This movie is not going to replace your childhood favorite Santa movie. No. Which for me is probably The Santa Claus.
Oh, that's a good one.
As much as I don't care for Tim Allen.
Oh, yeah.
He should shut the fuck up. But that's a great movie. I hear that Elf is good. I have never seen it.
We don't do Elf around these here parts.
Yeah, I doubt it though because I cannot stand Will Ferrell. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's Die Hard and The Santa Claus.
Those are good. I'm partial to Jingle All the Way.
I fucking love Jingle All the Way.
Okay, good.
Love it.
Yes.
That's a classic. Now, later in life, these Guardians Holiday Special.
Yes.
I watch that shit every year. Sometimes I watch it ain't even Christmas.
Oh,
but that is a must on Christmas for me.
Right.
I think the generation before us had Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Everybody I know, their parents like that movie. Mm-hmm. And that gets more and more accurate the more white trashy your parents are. So if they really love that movie and you never thought about that, here we are.
Here we are.
But you do what you will with that. I'm not saying anything. I'm just making an observation. And you can draw whatever conclusions you wish. But no, I don't think it's going to replace any of those.
Right.
But I thought it was fun. I would watch it again.
Yeah.
You know, I would watch it on Christmas. I thought it was a good Christmas movie, and I thought it was a good movie that just had Christmas things in it. It doesn't so much feel like a Christmas movie most of the time.
It doesn't.
You know, it's more of an action thriller that has Christmas elements.
Yeah.
You know,
we go to Aruba and see some cheeks. You know,
there was a lot of cake in this fucking movie,
right?
and you matter of fact, you know what? I think I'm gonna bump it up like a 0.1 for the cake, because there was a good bit of cake in this movie.
It was.
And on the way over there, me and the homie Oz were talking about, you know, it was rated PG-13. We were like, are we gonna get our F-bomb? You know. And we kind of almost.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give this a 7.4. I enjoyed it. I think it may have been slightly better than I thought it was going to be in some ways. And then I think it might have been slightly worse than I thought it was going to be in some ways.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
There you have it, folks. 7.2 and 7.4. So with that being said, I think that Red One is, if it's something that you're interested in doing or watching, and you got some free time this holiday season, and you want to go check out a fun movie, this is one. I mean, it's got 2 big stars in it, and then J.K. Simmons cameos as well.
It's got 3 big stars. Lucy Liu.
I was thinking Lucy Liu as well. She is also very much in this movie. She pops up and then she goes away and then she comes back, and you know.
Yeah.
All right, man.
This
is the part of the movie where part of the podcast where if you guys have not seen this movie, then you go ahead and pause the podcast. You know, take yourself a little break. You know, go watch the movie and then you come back and resume. But for everyone else, we're just gonna take a little mosey here for a second. So join us. Do you have something?
Yeah, man. I really got to finish Penguin before we review it on Saturday.
Yeah, you probably should do that.
I'm like 3 episodes back.
Oh,
and you know them.
Yeah.
And you know they're chunky boys.
They are. Yeah, they are chunky.
They're
boys.
a solid hour. I just I completed my watch through of Breaking Bad and El Camino.
Oh, nice.
And I think I'm gonna give Better Call Saul an honest try after I'm done with it.
I think you should.
I have tried it once before, and that shit is slow at the beginning. So
yeah, I'll say this, man. The first 3 seasons are they feel like a different show from the back half of it. But I enjoyed both halves, honestly.
yeah,
But yeah, it does start off a little slow, but man, like it really picks up. Like they introduce some new characters who are really compelling to me. And then once you get involved with like the Gus stuff, like that is also incredible. So there's a lot of really good content in Better Call Saul.
it's hard not to love anything with Giancarlo Esposito.
Right.
Because he is just incredible.
I mean, and for me, like I feel that way also about Bob Odenkirk. Like he plays that role so damn well.
Yeah,
and he has a co-star, Rhea Seehorn is her name, and she's all throughout the show as well. And her character is incredible. So like it's a great cast, and I really think it is worth the rewatch. But yeah, man, I hope you're staying off the internet because those Penguin spoilers are.
I'm bobbing and weaving. I saw the other day it was like the headline was like we explained that shocking death from the Penguin. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dog. Yeah, I bobbed and weaved around those Agatha spoilers.
Oh yeah.
So I'm probably gonna go home and watch one of them tonight, and then probably the other 2 tomorrow.
I'm trying to think. So the last episode you've seen, then is it the episode after she killed? Some of you guys probably haven't seen it. So
yeah, I'm on the episode right now where they. Let's see. Sophia and the other guy are trying to figure out where their hideout is at.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's as vague as I can be.
Yep, I understand.
But I feel like that probably...
It does, yeah. It tells me exactly where you are. I think it only picks up from there, and I think that the finale really delivered.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm curious to get your thoughts on it, man. I'm really curious to talk about it when we get there, because, yeah.
I can't wait to see it. And our next review after that is going to be fucking Craven, isn't it?
I believe it is.
It's the only one for the rest of the year, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, so we have we're gonna have to do the Watchmen animated movie soon.
Oh yeah, we should just do that next. I still haven't watched that shit.
That's part 2. I think is gonna come out like when you're gone. I think it comes out on like the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, let's do our Resurrections episode somewhere in there then, and we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Because we should at this point we should just wait for the second half and just do the whole thing.
Yeah, because the second half is going to come out on like the 3rd.
And then we got to do Doomsday Clock.
Then we got to do Doomsday Clock after that.
Man, that's a big old boy. It's going to take me a minute to read that shit.
Well, see, what I was thinking about Doomsday Clock is because you also read the button, so we might as well throw that in there too.
Yeah.
The version that I loaned you, it comes in 2 halves. So so we could just do the button in book 1 and then another episode book 2 with the wrap up.
Gotcha. Yeah. So not this fucking
Omni
right here.
Yeah, this is still the same thing, but it's basically cut in half.
That shit's bigger than Absolute Watchmen.
It looks that way, huh?
Yeah, I was like, God.
Yeah. So it's actually like the same content that's in the copy that I gave you. It's just those Absolutes are chunky boys. Those pages are like fucking card stock. You know?
Do you think Alan Moore would hate it?
Oh yeah, I don't even know what I thought about it. Yeah, there's nothing to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course he would. I love Alan Moore, but man, he just he does not like people playing in his sandbox. More to the point, though, he doesn't like people.
You probably can stop it right there. Right?
Yeah, I could, right? Yeah. Alan Moore, man, like you know whose fault it is whoever made the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Like they ruined it for everybody. Like that shitty movie came out, and it's just like a mindless action romp, you know.
It has almost nothing to do with
nothing. And Alan Moore, I can only imagine his face when he saw that movie, and he was like, "Never the fuck again." And then so then after that, he really didn't give his blessings on anything, which is why if you watch the Watchmen TV show, they say they give credit to Dave Gibbons, who was the artist, but there's no Alan Moore because he doesn't want his name on it.
Yeah.
He's fallen out with the comic book industry so much that book over there, Miracle Man, that was written both by Alan Moore and then the second half written by Neil Gaiman. Alan Moore's name is not on it because he does not want his name associated with like anything that Marvel or DC at this point does.
Why Miracle Man got on Cyclops' costume? That's very much a Cyclops outfit.
You know, I guess it kind of is.
It's missing a strap. It don't have the other strap. But that's literally just the fucking Cyclops costume without the strap.
That picture there does look a little Cyclops-esque.
A little. Okay.
Oh, shit. All right.
I think we beat around the bush long enough.
We have.
It's time to dive in.
Here we go. Homies, if you're still here, spoilers now.
Man, Krampus' sleigh was the fucking bomb.
Bruh.
His sleigh was the shit. He was even cooler than Santa's sleigh, and Santa's sleigh was amazing.
Yeah. And that's saying something, man. Like, damn. Krampus' sleigh fucking shoots fireballs and shit.
Yeah. And it doesn't run on carrots or reindeer.
Right. Man.
It runs on, like, demonic fire demons.
Yeah. Bruh, when they were doing the power slap shit, and Krampus put his big ass hand up to the rock's face.
And he's just like, oh, God.
Yeah. Bruh, like, in that situation, man, what do you do, you know?
He hit him so hard, dog.
Bruh.
He was on the floor instantly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, face was already fucking red, you know? That shit had to have sucked.
Krampus, seems like a cool guy. He seems like he knows how to throw a party.
Oh, yeah. I think that's all he knows how to do.
Yeah, as he said, every single day is Krampusnacht,
Right.
In his house,
right. Yeah, I really like the Krampus scenes.
Yeah, Krampus was dope all the way through.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun.
Speaking of slaying, fucking when J.K. Simmons came out in the outfit at the end,
bruh, that motherfucking drip there at the end.
That was the dopest fucking Santa outfit in the history of time,
bruh. Yeah. I don't know if there could be a better looking Santa suit than what he had.
No, that shit was incredible.
God damn.
And I will say on top of that, the actual scene at the end where they show him delivering the toys and everything was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen a movie actually portray that.
I was talking to Oz about that after the movie. I said I've never seen them like try to accurately depict like the logistics of how the fuck he delivers packages.
Yeah.
You know? Because that shit was incredible. I mean, like, and they show like there's like a giant mothership, basically.
Yeah, he had like a Tony Stark satellite,
right?
And that shit where they just like roll up on the sleigh and like take the old one off and load a new thing. That shit was amazing.
Right. He shrinks down like presents and himself to get into the chimney. Because at first I was wondering like, why the fuck does The Rock have an Ant-Man MacGuffin? But then I was like, okay, because Santa uses it to get through the chimneys and whatnot.
Yeah, they had some real Capsule Corp shit going.
They did, 100%. I mean, come on, like when you have a MacGuffin that's like I can take anything and make it into reality. I'm like, y'all don't want to rework that any at all? Okay.
Yeah, The Rock's little wrist thing was crazy because it can like hack doors that don't have computers. Like it can hack mechanical locks.
Right.
It also apparently can increase any of his attributes to where he can slap a demigod.
Right.
Can slap the shit out of a demigod.
And knock him on his ass, yeah.
He's going to get that slap back if they ever make a sequel to this.
It would be hilarious if it came out of nowhere, like Charlie Murphy,
like they just like, they do another team up and like they just got done with a big ass battle and they like won or whatever. And he just turns around and just Charlie Murphy! Just fucking knocks the shit out of him.
That would be incredible. Oh, yeah.
Let's
talk about the villain here. What was it? How did you pronounce her name?
So her name is Kiernan. Kiernan Shipka. Did you see any of her Sabrina run?
No.
Okay, so she was in the Netflix Sabrina.
Okay.
Which, since we're going to talk about this, in the beginning of that show, her character's supposed to be like 14, and they sexualized the shit out of that character in that show.
Really?
Yeah. Not cool. Other than that, the first 2 seasons of the show were quite good.
It's a very odd creative decision.
The third season was, it was. It was. They kind of almost did the Supernatural thing where it's like, they went straight to like Satan. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's like,
where do you go?
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, all right. You beat Satan, so
here's
yeah. Here's Galactus. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know where you go with that. But no, she did a great job. And so when she took the mask off here, huh?
What's the name of her character
in this?
Yeah.
Gryla.
Okay, yeah, Gryla. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, Gryla, the Christmas witch.
Yeah, so she's from Icelandic folklore. And there she is, tearing children apart and eating them.
God damn.
And I mean they got her pretty kind of accurate. I mean,
yeah, her final form was terrifying, actually.
Yeah, there she is with just a sack of bad children.
Yeah, damn.
But her and Krampus kind of come from similar parts of the world.
Yeah, Krampus I'm familiar with because Krampus has been in like a lot of fictional media.
Yeah.
But no, this is my first exposure to Gryla. Yeah, I mean, listen, like to a degree, she kind of gave me hella vibes where like the actor is really chewing the scenes and having a good time, but damn it, there's not a whole lot there.
She got better as the movie went, but when you're first introduced to her, I had the pop for the actress. I was like, oh, fuck, that's amazing. She's going to be great at this. But then when she started, like, talking to Santa, like, just the mustache twirling, I was like, oh, no.
For me, it was the expositing of her evil plan.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
After today, the world will actually be a better place. I'm like, oh, yeah, we've heard this shit. Please get the fuck out of here.
Right.
You know, I'm going to do this. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I'm like, fuck, man. But I will say, though, as the movie went on, I actually liked her more. You know?
Yeah. I thought that she was fine. I do wish that, again, Santa had been in the movie more. I think more of his interactions with these people was only better.
Yeah. Do you know what the fuck he was yelling at the reindeer?
I have no idea.
It just sounded like a big ass sneeze.
Yeah.
Me and Oz were thinking that it must be something German, because I think that is actually Santa Claus's original origin.
Probably.
It's from like a Germanic folklore.
I'll buy that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of sounded like he was like, and then the reindeer like turned Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make a clip out of what you just said.
It was whatever Crash Bandicoot yells when he puts the mask on.
Same shit.
It was a little throwback for you guys.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I played those remakes. They were fun as hell. So goddamn hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
those games were not easy.
They were not easy, no. But they're also, I think they're harder now, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like with the remakes, they're even harder because the controls are more refined.
I was going to say, back then, you know, the fucking, Crash Bandicoot 1 was pre-DualShock.
It was pre-DualShock, so you only had the D-pad.
Yeah, not now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that shit was annoying as fuck, too, because, like, the movement was awful. Bro. Like, if you walked past something that you needed in those games.
Yeah, the camera's like, you can't go back,
Yeah, you're like, Yeah, those are something. I really liked the second game, I think, is where you play as his sister for some of the levels.
Is that second or third? It might be second.
It might be. But I know there's like the ones where you like ride around the polar bear or whatever. Those are cool.
Those are cool. I love those a lot, yeah. I'm like, Crash is a goddamn menace. You stole this baby polar bear, and now the mom's chasing you.
Yeah, I mean, Cortex, you know, he was a fucking we got Robotnik at home, but
he was,
you know,
he was fun. Tiny was fun too, you know.
Yeah.
You know? Anywho, we got off on Crash Bandicoot.
We really did.
Yeah. See what else we got here in this movie.
Man, I loved the Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
That was great. Yeah.
I just love the way The Rock plays the character as the straight man, and he just goes through the fucking toy aisle,
right, and
he's just like, all right, I'm gonna need one of these, and then you know you got Chris Evans' character just like, bro, I thought this is an emergency. What the fuck are we doing?
So, what was the point of the Monopoly board?
We never find out.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like we never got that because he never put out like a shoe or like the old timey car or the ship
or the money
Yeah, he never pulls the Monopoly board.
Yeah. Oh, maybe his character's just like likes Monopoly.
Yeah, he's like, well, after this is all over, I'm gonna play Monopoly with old Nick.
Yeah.
So.
Oh shit.
I like how he told him to grab a practical car, and The Rock got like a fucking dually.
Yeah. That had to have been The Rock's decision because I believe that truck was a Ford, and you know The Rock, he loves his Fords.
Yeah.
I think they're in like some kind of partnership.
Which is weird, right? Because they're trash.
No, right, but he loves them.
Yeah.
He fucking loves them. Yeah, some of the jokes did land for me, and a lot of it had to do with just The Rock's delivery of this ridiculous ass shit. Like how, you know, he was talking to Chris Evans' character. He was like, yeah, you know, me and Santa work 364 days a year. It was like, we take Boxing Day off.
I loved that joke. I laughed at that shit.
Right. Yeah, that shit was pretty funny.
I loved the haunted piano.
Yeah.
Where he's like, is this something that happens to you often?
Yeah.
He's like, no, this one's rare.
Right. That's one of those moments where I just kept on driving.
Yeah, he's like, can we just drive around the haunted piano?
We most certainly can.
Yeah. Yeah, that was straight up some Keegan and Draco shit.
Oh yeah. That shit started to sink in for me at a certain point. Around like the Krampus area, I was like, man, this is getting real Keegan and Draco-ish.
What'd you think about Dylan here? I know how you feel about child actors.
God, I almost forgot about that kid in existence in the first place.
Jimmy Kimmel's nephew.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I don't think the kid did bad. I thought he was pretty well here.
No, he wasn't like annoying.
No, yeah, he wasn't the kid from Black Adam.
Yeah, Wesley Kimmel. Yeah.
Yeah, he was fine here. I mean, like for the role that he served, I mean, and it's the kind of character that we've seen, troubled kid wants to kindle a relationship with one of his parents, and he's a good kid at heart, but acts out and does things he shouldn't do, and then he's able to reconcile things with his parents, and then they're all, happy by the end. It's, we've seen it, but it was fine. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that he was okay. Just kind of like you said. I think he played the role well. I thought he had good chemistry with Chris Evans. He didn't really take away from the movie. He didn't really add a lot to the movie.
Yeah, the best thing I can say is he did not deter my enjoyment of this movie.
And for that character, that's usually what the fuck they do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Speaking of like kids, the opening of this movie,
completely unnecessary.
Right. I could have done without that.
It's completely and wholly. I mean, they're there to kind of show you that it's really just the opening is just there to show you that Chris Evans' character is a douchebag, which there's so much of that.
Yeah.
We don't need it. And just that he's always been a douchebag and that he doesn't believe in Santa Claus. That goes nowhere.
Absolutely. It was to the point where in that opening scene, when he was a kid, I thought that he was going to stay up and find Santa Claus, and then like be on some type of conspiracy shit. But no, that was not the case. He was just a little asshole when he was a kid. And I guess they try to play up like apparently he didn't know his dad, and so he also wanted to be an absentee dad. I don't know.
Yeah. I liked, I'm not really sure. Like, Chris Evans' character is just all over the place, man. Him and The Rock running like 30 miles an hour at the end.
Yeah, let's talk about this fight scene that he has when he goes back to his apartment.
Yeah, I mean, he's just effortlessly fucking these Mora agents.
Right.
Like, it's like the reverse of the TVA and Loki in Loki season 1.
Yeah. I'm like, how is this happening right now?
Like, literally all they have to do is touch him with one of those fucking neuralizers or whatever the fuck.
But this motherfucker's like a black belt in Krav Maga and 17 other martial arts.
He's just destroying them effortlessly.
Effortlessly, yeah.
But then, a few scenes later, he's fighting the Abominable Snowmen, and he's fucking useless.
Yeah, I'm like, where was all that shit that you did in your apartment?
But he's incredibly durable, because they literally... There's a scene where, like, they backhand him into an awning.
Yeah.
And then he falls and hits the floor. There's another scene where they chunk him like 30 feet and he lands on the cement and slides into the pool.
Like, there's one moment when he got like, did he get tail whipped by Gryla?
Oh, yeah.
And he just goes flying, and I'm like...
And then hits a wall.
Yeah.
And he's just good.
I'm like, that's not how any of this works.
Him and The Rock pulled a fucking Captain America and T'Challa running after the sleigh.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it makes sense for The Rock, but like, why the... Like, when they got on there, I was like, who was that on the other side? It doesn't make any sense for it to be his character.
But he's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, the abilities of his character are probably the worst thing in the whole movie. Like, they're completely fucking nonsensical.
This character, Jack, he just does whatever the plot needs him to do.
He is a walking, fucking, living, breathing MacGuffin.
Yes. He is a MacGuffin incarnate. Because, well, we need him to be involved in this movie. This guy can hack into anything, all right? And he can, he's able to give information that can help a fucking immortal witch find Santa Claus.
And it's completely and totally like he can't trace it until he can. And then he conveniently did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, this guy's, and even like the opening scene that we see of actual Chris Evans, so much of it is fucking luck and coincidence. It's like he has the same powers as Domino.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's not how any of this shit would work.
The tracking superpower is really dumb. And then also, like, when they go to the beach, he's like, yeah, that dude has shoes on. It's him. I'm like, what? You're number one, you're not Sherlock Holmes. Number two, that's stupid as hell.
Right.
People wear shoes at the beach all the time.
Yeah. I'm like, but that's how we come to that conclusion, huh? Okay.
And then those abilities never come up again.
They do not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like, you know, it would have been cool if you used those same abilities to, like, deduce that Krampus is lying and that Growler had been there and for a certain thing, but no.
No, he is purely there to serve the plot.
Yeah.
He's kind of like if there was a little bit of flavor on Ray Palpatine.
Ooh. Well, no, because in that case, then he would have, Santa's sleigh would have broken, but he would have been able to fix it, no problem.
And then he also would have single-handedly, with no help, beat Gryla at the end.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, with the power of belief and friendship, he would have been able to beat Gryla.
Yes.
One-on-one.
Of course.
Easily.
And he also would have had the forethought to disable Krampus's sleigh before they left.
Yep. All of that.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, Gryla, again, her final form I thought was fucking terrifying. Like, get that shit the hell away from me.
Yeah, when she came up with the tentacles, I was like, yeah, here we go. Here's some more of this fucking fan fiction that's about to happen. There's about to be if there isn't already, there's about to be Krampus Gryla Rule 34 all over the internet.
I do not need to see that. That's the type of porn that should not be downloaded on anyone's phone.
See, I'm not kink shaming. It's not from me. If that's how you get your rocks off, I want you to have it. I just don't want to know about
it. Wonderful rules to live by.
Yeah. It's like pineapple on pizza, you know? It's not my thing. Like, I want the people that like it to have it. It's just, you know, I just don't want that shit on my pizza.
Yeah, I've had it. It's not the worst.
No, I mean, like, I would rather have that on my pizza than, like, anchovies.
Yeah, I've never had that on my pizza.
Yeah.
The Ninja Turtles, when I was a kid, they almost got me to do it.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, but then you, like, see that shit in real life.
Yeah.
And you're like,
well, it was mostly because my parents was like, fuck no. Like,
right, yeah.
Other people have to eat this pizza, too.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, if that shit had arrived and you were a kid and you, like, actually saw them whole-ass fish on there, you'd be like, nah.
Yeah, I'm good. Shit, Popeye got me. Like, I had to have canned spinach when I was a kid because I saw what it did to Popeye.
I mean, it's working out for you pretty well. I can't say it isn't. But, yeah, when I was a kid, you would have had to kill me to give me some canned spinach.
Oh, it was disgusting, but, like, I was like, this is, you know.
This going to make me strong.
Right, going to be strong.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with it. You know?
I guess you just took some time to kick in.
Yeah.
You know?
Skronk.
Well,
Krampus has been eating that shit.
Bruh, Krampus is fucking jacked.
He was absolutely insane.
So Krampus, he's really like living the life out of the two brothers. I don't know why like they were so mad at each other. Because Krampus, he's up at his place drinking all day and fucking bitches by the looks of it.
Well, I think Krampus, I don't think Krampus actually. I never got the opinion that like him and Nick hated each other. The way that I thought that Krampus came at it was like, hey, I tried to punish these little motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. I spent hundreds of years doing it. It didn't do no good. So now I just sit in here and slap motherfuckers and drink and dance and fuck bitches. Like, that's the way I saw it, you know?
Yeah. Just by the way that The Rock was talking, he made it sound like, well, for one thing, they made it sound like Krampus. Well, I know it was a misdirect, but they wanted to make it seem like Krampus was in cahoots with Gila.
Yeah.
When that was not Gryla, when that wasn't the case.
Right, yeah.
But then, like, they also add more flavor to it by the way that he tells the story of their falling out between each other. So, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, Krampus is, I think we're cool if Krampus doesn't hang around Santa, you know. Like, we don't need that motherfucker out here ripping children apart and whatnot. That's not good for kids' health, from my understanding. So,
yeah.
Man, what else we have for this?
Now that we're talking about food, you know, I was like, just gonna drop the little nugget of knowledge that the best hot dog topping is sour cream and red pepper flakes.
The best hot dog topping.
Yeah, you get your hot dog. Take some
get
sour
your
cream. Slather it on there. You get you some red pepper flakes.
Yeah.
You hit that shit. It's amazing.
I had last week. It's a place somewhere around here. They do like those Korean corn dogs.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan of those.
You like them though?
Yeah, I surprisingly liked it.
Which one did you get?
Okay, I got a couple of them. One I got, it was like covered in like yams.
Okay.
And then I got like half mozzarella cheese and half beef hot dog on the inside.
Nice. Yeah, I bet that was delicious.
That was delicious. And the other one I got was just like their plain one. It was like just the beef dog with the cornmeal on the outside, and it was like coated in like a sugar. It might have been cocaine, but it looked like sugar.
It might have been booger sugar.
Yeah. That was pretty good too. It was just a concoction of flavors that my brain had to process. But after a few bites, I was like, this ain't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's take it or leave it for me. Mm-hmm. You know, for me, it's kind of like it's like Thai food or that kind of thing. It's like I could take it, I could leave it. You know, like Indian food. Most Indian food is kind of the same way to me. Like, if you're like, hey man, you trying to go get some food? I'm like, sure, where we going? You're like, oh, I'm gonna go get some Indian food. I'm like, I'll go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if you ask me where I want to go, I'm never gonna be like, let's go get some this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I feel you on that.
So.
Yeah. Well, now that we started talking about food.
Yeah, man. Is there anything else we wanna hit on this one?
I'll be honest, man. Like, outside of like the obvious shit, there wasn't a whole lot of things that we could spoil. You know.
Yeah.
There's the big post-credit teaser. We get there. I'm just joking. I made that up.
I was like, if there was a post-credit, dog, I was out the theater before that shit happened. If there is one, we didn't see it. No, I love the ending. As a matter of fact, I think, weirdly enough, I think the third act is probably my favorite part of the movie. I think the third act is significantly better than 1 and 2.
No, I'm with you on that, actually.
Yeah. And that's rare.
Yeah.
Usually you flip
it's
that
the other
shit.
way,
yeah.
Yes.
The first act of this movie is painful.
Bruh, yeah.
To get through.
Yeah, because it just takes time to get there, man.
Like, from the time... that's the other thing, too, is like, when they kidnap him, right? You're like, okay, cool. We finally gonna get to the shit now.
Right.
Bruh, it's like another 5, 6, 7 minutes before The Rock and Chris Evans' characters even meet.
And again, to me, it felt like it was longer.
It felt long as fuck, man. Like, the first act it's a slog, dude.
So, what's the point of Chris Evans doing what he does? Because it seems to be a shit living, but he's got to be making bank.
Right, but he's sleeping in his bathtub and shit.
Yeah.
And he apparently owes this dude money and shit.
Yeah. And so, like, if my recollection is correct, he bet $25,000 on
that fight
match. Yeah. And then was freaking out when he lost. But I'm like, whatever you just did, as a freelance hacker or whatever, that's got to be like worth way more.
Yeah, Growler had to have tons of money.
Right.
And then he just made double that.
Yes.
Off of this.
Yeah. So.
I don't know.
Yeah. His character baffles me a bit in this movie.
Yeah, his character is all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
All the other characters I thought were pretty decent. I really liked Gryla. Not at the very beginning, obviously, but a lot of that too, though, is just I really love the actress, and I haven't seen her anything in a while. So when it turned out to be her, I was like, okay. Her suit was also dope.
Yeah, I dug hers as well.
And then when she just kind of like conjures that whip out of it or whatever, I was like, this better not awaken anything.
Bro, Catwoman did that for me years ago.
Oh yeah,
I was ruined from the start.
Yeah, but she just had that whip. I mean, like
That's
this chick,
true.
like her suit,
Yeah.
spawned it.
Yeah.
And then she whipped some big ass reindeer with it.
She did. That was fucked up.
Yeah, she regrets that.
Right. And those reindeer were big as fuck.
Those reindeer were big as a motherfucker.
There was one more thing I wanted to talk about. What was it? Shit. Was it Garcia? No,
Garcia was dope.
Yeah, Garcia was great.
Was it Mrs. Claus? You want to talk about Mrs. Claus?
Oh no, it was Lucy Liu, and like her character was so one dimensional that it threw me off.
I know it was, her, and also if you're gonna cast Lucy Liu, don't you give her more action?
Right.
She only really has like one action scene in the movie, and it was dope. Don't get me wrong, it was great, but like it feels like if you're gonna cast her, then you do a little more than that.
Yeah. Like you have a Charlie's Angels. I'm talking about from like the good movies, not the one that came out. You have like one of the Charlie's Angels, and someone who's been in just a shit ton of action flicks, and you just,
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna cast like Ming Na Wen,
right?
You give her some action.
Give her some action to do. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like casting Chuck Norris as a lawyer. And not like Matt Murdock.
Yeah, right.
That's it. Like he just shows up and like signs some documents.
So does some legal paperwork and then he's out.
Is Chuck Norris still alive?
He is still alive. Yes.
Well, of course he is. Who am I kidding?
Right. He's Chuck Norris.
He's Chuck Norris. I mean, what was gonna kill him? Time? Fuck that.
Yeah. They say he outlived death.
Yeah.
So oh man. I don't think I got nothing else.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're go ahead and wrap this one up, folks. There you have it. That's our review of Red 1. It's kind of random out of nowhere, but guess what? Some motherfucking content.
It's motherfucking content, y'all.
So here we go.
Come on.
If you're listening to these in order, it's as it seems. In the past/future, we will be reviewing the Penguin. So go ahead and get ready for that. You're going to be hearing that shit next. But if you just can't wait for that to come out, definitely check out our Agatha review. If you've read Mistborn, go ahead and check out our Mistborn covers that we did. If you haven't, then I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead and read that shit.
Go ahead and read it. Yeah. Do yourself a favor. Shit's good as hell.
Yeah, and if you don't read books, then get that graphic audio. It's really good. So
also, yes. So you got options. You got options.
These are the options.
Well, homies, that's going to be all for now. Hopefully this episode, this movie, this review got you guys all tingly for the Christmas holiday season. And hopefully you remember to drop the Superhero Homies podcast in any way, shape, or form into your friend's stocking. I don't know how you do that with an audio and or visual platform, but you can figure it out. With that being said, guys, thank you guys again for listening in. Please remember to do all the things that these platforms need us to do. Like, subscribe, share, comment.
Hit all them buttons.
Hit all the buttons, all the good buttons.
And go sign up for Patreon.
Sign up for Patreon. Patreon.com/Superhero Homies. If you guys want to get the content, like as soon as it comes out, that's the bestest way to do so.
Yeah, I mean, if you go ahead and hit that Homie Supreme button, you can hear this content before anybody except the two people in this room.
Exactly. And we had to make the content to hear it.
Yeah.
You just get to hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
Straight up.
As a matter of fact, by the time you guys Well, there'll be a lot that's out by the time you guys hear this. But the Mistborn review is going to be up within like the next couple hours, depending on my mood.
Let me tell you guys, that's a good one. It's a long boy, though.
Yes, I had to. That one took some work, but we got it. And so definitely a lot of fun. But yeah, patreon.com/superhero homies. Be sure to do that. And that's all for now. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this half as much as we did. We had a blast, as always. We'll be back again really soon, though. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.